Hello everyone and welcome to another review. As you can see, we have the Aqara wall outlet H2 UK. So this is compatible with UK Type G plugs. As you can see from the box, it is Matter compatible. So this works on Thread, but it also works on Zigbee. I'll be showing you how to set it up with both. It comes with a 2 USB or a single USB option. I'll also be showing you both plugs there. So before I get into the video, please note that when I was recording some of the video, a couple of things were going wrong. So if it jumps about a little bit, I do apologise for that. And also I realised when I was running back some of the footage that my voice was kind of flat. I think I was just having a bit of an off day, but unfortunately it was when I was installing it, so I didn't want to undo the plug in its entirety just to reinstall it again. So hopefully you enjoy the video and we'll get into it now. So here's the unboxing portion of the single USB socket. Now I have had this out previously, so you get some screws to screw it into the outlet. You get a spacer as well, which will come in handy, and you'll see why when we come to the installation video. It is quite nicely built, so we'll put that to one side. You get a faceplate that goes over the top of here, and when this faceplate goes on, you'll see that to undo it you need to sort of put something in between this bit here, and you also need to lift up here, here, here and here to get this faceplate off. It does go on very securely, but as you can see, this is quite thick here, this back portion, so this is why this helps, because you can put this on, screw it to the wall, and as you can see it reduces the thickness of here. You have two places to put your you have two places to put your earth terminals into, and you have a live on the left and you have a neutral on the right. So as you can see, earth, and they are cross heads, but you can also use straight heads as well, which is quite nice. Here is the unboxing of the dual USB-C. Now we'll take this out. The box can go to the side, and you get your instruction booklet. Now once again, Aqara did send this out, so it is a pre-production unit, so yours will have all the compliance and regulatory information in there. And here we are. So this is what I mean by on the previous part, where you have to put something in here and here to undo it. So if I just put my nails in there and push up, it is quite difficult. There we go, and there is one side, there is the other side. So you can do it with your fingers, and it does feel a little bit like you're going to break it, but it does come off there. So as you can see, the difference on this one, you still have your buttons, you still have your tactile buttons, you still have your two normal sockets, but you've got two USB sockets here. This can go on there. What I do like about these spacers is there is little tabs all around, which correspond to little tabs in here, which gives it a nice firm seating place so that this doesn't rock around, and it goes through nicely. So now we'll move on to the installation phase. As you can see, I have taken the front cover off here at the moment. What I was checking for is to see the wiring position and if I had enough wire in here to wire up. Reason being is, on this side you have your live, on my case that's the brown wires here, which do go to the right hand side, and there is enough room there. You have the blue wires, which is the neutral, which on this plug is over here. So if you're looking at it this way, neutral is on the right, so obviously when you turn that round, your neutral is going to be on the left of the plug. And you have your earth there, but you've also got earth there as well, so it doesn't matter which side. Now these wires are very stiff. What I will say is, sorry, a caveat before I begin, is if you aren't comfortable with electrics, you're unsure of what you're doing, please hire an electrician, and I have no responsibility for what you guys do at home. So that's your own warning on your own head. If you're unsure at all, then please hire an electrician. I have made sure that there is no power coming to this socket by switching the entire breaker off in my house. There's no power even coming past the breaker downstairs. So I've unscrewed the screws that were in there. They were slotted screws, and the screws that come with the Aqara one are crosshead, and as you can see they are the same length of screw. In fact, the Aqara one might be maybe about 1.5 millimeters to 2 millimeters longer than the one that was in there. So we have everything set out here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the slotted screwdriver to unscrew first the live wire. We'll take out the, when I get my screwdriver head back, we'll take out the neutral wire. Thank you for alerting me to that, Sam. And then what we'll do is we will take out the earth wire. Don't wire this up first, otherwise if you wire this up first, how are you going to get your spacer on? So we shall put the spacer over these wires and just leave it there for a moment. We shall loosen this one up because I'm going to put it on the right hand side of the plug there. Now, one thing that I am noticing is on here, the wells on here are a little bit shallow. Now, ideally what you want to do is seat the wire in so it's as much in there and there's no real wire showing on the outside. So I think what I may do is just snip a little bit off these wires so that it seats inside here nicely, so that there's only sheathed wire coming out of there. So now that they're all trimmed up, we will double check. We have the live here, and on our case the brown is the live wires, so we'll put both of them in there. And we will tighten this screw down, make sure that it is cinched up nice and tight, and then test it and give it a good hard pull. It's better now if you pull it out rather than putting it back in there and it coming out and there being problems when you turn the power back on. So good hard pull, I'm satisfied with that. And I'm going to put my earth wires into the earth terminal. And again, pull and pull and give it an extra pull just to make sure that they're not going to come out when you seat the product in the back. Once again, nice and tight, give it a good pull. There we go, they're not going anywhere. So what we can now do, oh, by the way, when you put this on over your wires, make sure these little nubs here are facing away from the wall, otherwise it'll be on the wrong way, and then when you go to put it on it won't fit properly and you'll have to take these wires out and do it all again. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this goes in the back box, push the wires in. Right, what I'm going to do is just put that like that for now. It might take a little bit of fiddling about. There we go, that should do. So we'll get our nice new cross-headed screws and see if we can seat that somewhere where the hole is going to be. As you can see, I've got another socket set up. Sam is filming for me. It's a little bit awkward because we're on the floor and everything like that. I have changed a single socket over to this double socket using the wall box at the back. Now for this setup, we're going to go into the Aqara app, and hopefully in a second or so, there we go, the plug has come up. Now the current protocol is thread, so we're going to continue with the thread protocol, and we're going to scan the QR code that's on the plug. There we go. So we've scanned the QR code and we are ready to add Matter devices, so we're going to click continue. It's a new device, so we're going to select the M3 hub, and we're going to add to Aqara home. As you can see, it's connecting and setting up. This does sometimes take a little bit of time, but we will get there. There we go. So I'm just going to put this as the little bedroom power socket. So little bedroom socket, we will continue and we'll click done. Then what that's going to do is it's going to bind it to the hub. It's registering the device. There we go. So I'm going to rename it here as well, little bedroom socket. And it's come up in the living room, and that's because the hub is in the living room, so it automatically thinks that it should be placed in the living room. So what I'm going to do is go on there and I'm going to change it to the little bedroom, and then we're going to click next. Now we have card 1 of 2, so we've got outlet 1, I'll just leave it like that for now, and we've got outlet 2, so we'll click done. As you can see, this is loading. And here we are. So we have outlet 1 and outlet 2, and because I pressed the button previously just to run a test whether it was working correctly, then that power socket is on. So what I can do is click here and the socket switches off. So what I'll do is I'll click that button again so you can see it coming back on and back off. And there we are. So you can see in the app here we have power monitoring here. Obviously there's no data at the moment because I've not plugged anything in and it's not giving any indication. I did just tap that with my finger on the way past. It's quite sensitive because it's turned the plug on, so we'll turn that off. Just because a couple of things have changed round since I did the filming of the video, I thought I'd give you an up-to-date view of what the menus look like. So as you can see, you have your socket up here, so the top menu. You can see the accessory name and location, the official device name, device privacy agreement, user manual, frequently asked questions, obviously the manufacturer is Aqara. Then you have your accessory ID and version and plugin version number. So if we go back, you can then access the device card. So here you can go into the different portions of the plug and you can rename, you can update the icon, you can choose the use. So on this you can choose to use it as a light, an outlet, fan, ventilation, etc. So if we go back out of there, and you can change the location as well. So if we go back again into our top menu, you have the power off memory. So here you have 4 different options. Power off after the power is restored. So, you know, if you have a power cut or what have you, then it will automatically turn the power socket off. The device can power on after power is restored. You can reverse the previous setting or restore the previous setting. Now, I like to restore the previous setting because if I've got something plugged in, say a bedside lamp, and it's off and we have a power cut, then I want that lamp to go off again. So I restore the previous setting, but it's personal preference. If we go back again, you can search for the device. Now, when you do that, it will flash the LEDs on the plug, so you know which plug you are accessing. You've got third-party Matter ecosystems. As you can see, they are connected. And if we go on here, you can connect to Apple Home, which I've already done. You have your Matter pairing code. And as you can see, the connected ecosystems are Keychain, Aqara Home and Apple Home in my case. So if we go back again, we have our network information, our device diagnostics, firmware update. So if you click on here, if there is a firmware update, it will tell you, and then you can click at the bottom to update the device. Go back again, we have communication protocol here, which obviously is Thread. If we click on here, you can change over to Zigbee, and you'll see in the video how you can do that. So we'll come out of here, and you've got configure your automations. So you can go on here, you can add automations and add scenes. So if we go back again, you have your logs. So this will show you when the plug has been turned on and turned off, if there's any problems, things like that. And there we have your menu settings. We'll get back to the video now. Now, if you are going to switch over to Zigbee, the device does need to be reset because a new protocol needs physically writing to the chip that's on board the plug. So what you would do is you would delete it from all of your ecosystems. You would go to the plug, and on the plug here you have a couple of buttons. Either one of them you can press, go 1, 2 and hold for 10 seconds, and it will click and flash red, and then it will reset. Then when you go to set it up again, you can switch the protocol over to Zigbee. But the accessory has come up here, so we're going to click it. If you do want to switch it to Zigbee, this will say that the current protocol is Thread. If you want to change it to Zigbee, all you do is you click on this blue part here. You change the protocol to Zigbee, click switch, and then quick switch again, and that will happen, and then it will proceed to the next step. So we'll go to continue. As you can see, it's connecting to the plug, to the socket. And just give it a second, and we are going to connect to our M3 hub that's downstairs. It said please add accessory. I don't know if you picked that up in the background, and it's just said accessory added successfully. So we've named it bedroom plug, but I'm going to rename that now actually main bedroom plug. So we're going to click OK there. We're going to change it from the living room. Now it thinks it's the living room because that's where the hub is, but obviously it's in the main bedroom, so we're going to change it to main bedroom. Click next. Now you have socket 1 is the first card. We're just going to click next. You can rename these as you want. Socket 2, we're going to click next. You can also choose a different graphic if you want a different graphic on each part. You've got the USB-C, so we're going to click next. Switch 1, because these switches down here can be converted into wireless switches if you wish them to. So we're going to name switch 1 and switch 2. Here is the bedroom plug. Now as you can see, the power is on here, and this is powering my camera at the moment, but what I can do is I can click here. Oops. There we go. Sam's laughing at me because I've just been doing that. As you can see down here, the power socket has turned off. So we'll click it again, and the power socket has turned on. Now my camera is probably going to have a dicky fit because it's just been turned off about 3 times and back on again. So again, a couple of things have changed around since I have been initially testing, so I wanted to give you a little overview here. So if we go to the 3 dots at the top right hand side, again you have the top menu, which gives you this information. You can change the location, change the accessory name. You can see that it's a UK wall socket H2 on the official name. Device privacy agreement, so you have all of this which looks roughly the same. So if we go back, and you have child lock here, so you can click and activate the child lock So obviously I've named my plugs camera button and electric blanket, so you can lock them buttons off. If we go back again, you have maximum power. So this is 3250 watts at the moment. However, you can go in there and you can alter what the maximum power would be from a range of 100 to 3250 watts. So we'll cancel out of there because I don't need to change that. You have your power off memory settings. Again, you have the 4 options and it's personal preference. So we'll go back again. You have indicator light settings. So if we click on here, you can choose to have the indicator light on or off. And when it's on, you can choose to sync it with the switch state. So that means when the light is on, the power is on. Or you can have opposite to on-off state. So if the power is off, then the LED is on. So we'll go back again. You have switch settings underneath here. Now you can choose socket 1 and socket 2. So if we click on socket 1 here, you can see you have your single press mode or you have your multifunction mode. If you put it into multifunction mode, then the plug will always be on, so you can just insert your plug and power will be there, and take your plug out if you want the power to be off. And the button will be a multifunction button. So by this you can choose between 1 press, 2 presses and a long press, and that will allow various different automations with the device. So that's an option if you want that. And again, you can click into the second button as well. So if we go back again, you can choose to find the device, which again will flash the LEDs on the device so you know which device you're accessing. As you can see, it's connected to my Aqara Hub M3, and if we click on there, it brings the M3 up with all of its settings. The signal strength, the Zigbee signal strength, as you can see, is excellent, and it shows you a graph over time of how the signal strength has been. So if we go back out of here, you can configure automations. So if we go on to automation configuration, as you can see, I did set an automation up for double clicking the right button, and it will turn my lamp on and off. You can add an automation. That was on automations 1, as you can see, indicated by the little 1, and it's a local automation. So if we go to add another one, then this will add automations 2.0, and you can switch that on by going to the bottom right and turning on the automations 2.0. So if I go to when and add a trigger, we'll click accessories and we'll do the main bedroom plug, and we shall say is on, and you can choose which one, so the camera, electric blanket or USB portion in my case. So that would be power socket 1, power socket 2 or the USB. So we are going to go for the camera, and if we go to then, as you can see, you've got all of these options here. So we can go to accessories and say I wanted my lamp on every time the camera was on, just as an example. Then we can go there, turn on, and then we can save the automation. When you go to save, then you can rename it, you can choose the location and the grouping. So that is that set up. Now I don't need that anymore, so I can delete that. This was just for demonstration purposes. And there we are. So if we go back out of here, you can see that you also have your logs, and you can create a device group as well. So if you click on create a device group, you can group it with different accessories. So we're going to go back out of here, and that is the menu. You can also remove the accessory as well at the bottom. So that is the menus when connected through Zigbee in the Aqara app. So as you can see, we are now in the Apple Home app, and in the main bedroom you can see I have outlet and electric blanket at the bottom because I've separated the tiles. And when you don't separate the tiles, you can see little bedroom down below, and they are both under one. I wanted to show you what it was like in both scenarios. So if we go into the little bedroom first and we click on here, then as you can see you have power socket 1 and power socket 2, and you can turn them on and off, and it is extremely quick. If we go into the settings, then as you can see the name of the socket, and I have actually grouped these together, but you can show as separate tiles, which I've done in the main bedroom. You can add it or remove it from the home view, and you can see it has 2 accessories here. So you have power socket and power socket. The USB-C does not show up, unfortunately, through Apple Home. However, it is always powered, and again this is in thread mode or matter mode, but you can add automations here. So as you can see, you can add all these automations. So we'll click out of here, and you can see the connected services are Apple Home and Aqara. So if we go back and out of here, and we go up to electric blanket and outlet. So if I click on electric blanket, you can turn it on and off, as you can see, and again it's very fast doing so. And if we go to settings, you can see on this one I have shown them as single tiles, but you can group with other accessories. You can still add your automations here, same as with thread mode. And you can see display as power socket, so you can choose what it displays as. So in Apple's options you have fan, light and power socket. So it's a power socket here. You can include it in favorites and add or remove from home view. And as you can see here, we have status, so we can include it in home summaries. And the bridge on this one is the Aqara Hub M3, as you can see here. So that is the menus under Apple Home when it's imported into Apple Home. You can see that with Zigbee mode, the power socket is not in use at the moment. Again, you don't seem to be able to have the USB for whatever reason when you are using Apple Home. However, the USB sockets themselves are constantly powered, and again you can control these individually through the Aqara Home app. And there we have it, the new H2 UK wall outlet by Aqara. As you've seen, it comes with a single or a dual USB-C socket. It is excellent for creating automations. You can turn dumb appliances into smart appliances, and you can control them away from home through the Aqara or Apple Home or Smart Home of your choices app. It is very robust. It's pretty easy to install, but once again, if you are unsure with electrics, please do get a qualified electrician in. I wouldn't want to see anybody hurt. If you have any questions, once again, please leave them in the comments. I do try and answer as many comments as I can. I hope you all have an amazing day. Please like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.